Dudes and dudettes, how are you guys? This is Chazzy and welcome back to What's the Damage, the good old WTD question mark on my channel, baby. Oh boy, it's cold today. It's cold today, guys. It's been cold all week here in Sao Paulo, you know. Right now there's a little bit of sunlight. I almost didn't record any vlogs today, but I was like, I'm gonna wait for the sun to come out because it's too cloudy and depressing and the lighting is gonna suck, But the sun came out for a few brief moments here, so I'm going to be taking advantage of the opportunity to record because I am the Chazzy. That's right, baby. I am the CHAZZY and I'm here on the YouTube and me because I am just free and okay, I'm sorry. I know that was cringy. I've been listening to a lot of NWA lately, It's just been in my head. I don't know why. Freaking cracker listening to that kind of music. But anyway, shut up, you motorcycle bastard outside. Shut it. Shut it. Thank you. So guys, in the very last vlog that I recorded here, I talked about Ted Bundy. I went a little bit behind his crimes, gave you guys like this very serious, detailed, let's say, kind of mini documentary about him, and some of the things that he did while he was active in the 70s. And that video actually inspired this one here, today's concept vlog. In case you guys are new to the channel, a concept vlog here is the kind of vlog where I literally just talk to you guys, It still goes into my playlist, What's the Damage mixer, but I don't do any fancy editing, no photos or videos. It's just literally me talking, kind of like vlogging freestyle, that's kind of how it's actually how I started my YouTube career many years ago. So I'm going to be talking about the death penalty and why I honestly think it should be implemented here in my home country of Brazil. In case you guys don't know, I'm pretty sure it's obvious by now that I am Brazilian, and also equally obvious that I am not proud of my heritage, I'm actually kind of embarrassed to be where I'm from, but that's probably a topic for a different video, But among the things that I don't like here in Brazil is that things seem to be getting worse and worse with each passing year in terms of not just like the prices of items, inflation, taxes, things of the sort, but people are starting to get a lot more, how can I say, easily offended. They're getting very butthurt, and so, because Brazilians are either, we have this expression here where we say 8 ou 80, which is like 80, 8 or 80, right? Which pretty much is the person who is very extreme, either on the low end or the high end, So Brazilians are either very forgiving or very vengeful, There's really no, when it comes to Brazilians, there is no middle ground anywhere in our culture, in our country, in our language. There is no middle ground here at all. And there are many heinous crimes that are committed here in this country, sometimes by regular people, other times by, renowned politicians who are very famous and rich and very clearly are corrupt and are doing things that are illegal against the law. And yet when they do finally get caught, if they ever do, and then they're sent to jail. Sometimes they're not even sent to jail. They just get like house arrest, They get to stay in there. They're under arrest in their own home, which is like a lavish mansion, with 3 floors and a bunch of different, recreation areas for them to relax, So that's pretty much how our culture is, No, like the richer and more powerful you get, the more untouchable you become, And like there are so many notable examples, We have the last president before, well, not the last, right? A few presidents ago, we had this guy called Lula who is already like considered to be one of the, it really actually depends on what you believe in, where you get your information from and who you support politically speaking, but he is honestly one of the biggest thieves in the entire political system in like recent years, because I mean, apparently he did do a few good things. He did try to invest in education here and there, but at the same time, there was such a huge, immense money laundering scheme behind his campaign, and he stole so much money from his own people, his own country. He nearly tried to single-handedly ruin the Amazon, and when he was finally found out for his crimes, he was arrested, and just a few months later he was released, and now he's actually vying for presidency again. He's running for presidency again in the next elections, So this is the kind of message that the government sends to the people who live here, No matter what you do, no matter how bad it is, how many people you hurt, if you rise to a prominent enough position in society, pretty much nothing will happen to you. Now, the funny thing about Brazilians is that they Like normally I would say we, but in this case I am excluding myself from the masses because I do not think like a Brazilian. I barely act like one, you know. I feel like I'm much more American than Brazilian because I grew up in the United States, but that's not the point. This isn't about me. The collective masses here in Brazil, they have many flaws, like for example, not knowing how to protest, not knowing how to fight for their rights and actually show what they want, you know. And when they finally get what they want, they still complain about it, you know, because there's a friend of mine who described something as the Brazilian misery complex, where, you know, Brazilians become so used to growing up in immense poverty and misery and not having a lot of opportunities for themselves that they accept this as their only reality, you know. They don't feel like it's possible for you to go out there and do something else. And now here's the thing. A lot of people do really bad stuff in this country and they get away with it because the government tends to turn a blind eye to certain things. And even if you get caught and arrested, the consequences are nary to none, you know? So that's why I am going to bring the death penalty into the topic here. Now, the death penalty is something that is observed in different countries, you know, but as far as I know, most prominently in the United States, because of all of the 50 states there, you know, 27 of them do actually enforce the death penalty, which is also known as capital punishment, and the other 23 abolish it. You know, I don't know why. Maybe they think it's just too extreme. And they can be a number of ways, you know. A long time ago, like back in the 80s, maybe 90s, I do believe that the electric chair was still used. I'm not sure it's still the case today. I think today they just use lethal injection, you know. I actually think that's how they kill certain terrorists today. But that's like what I'm trying to say is that countries that have the death penalty, they tend to have laws that are much more rigid and are very heavily enforced, you know, different than here in Brazil. This country does not have the death penalty as far as I know. But do I think that it could and should be, you know, should be established here? Yes, 100% yes. And I'm going to try to explain why without sounding like a, you know, sadistic psychopath who wants to see people die. I am of the very firm belief that criminals, depending on what they do, should be punished prematurely and permanently. You know, if like in the United States, capital punishment is only used on the grounds of aggravated murder. And even here in Brazil, like if you kill somebody, the most that's going to happen is that you're going to go to jail for the rest of your life, you know. But that's not enough, man. That's not enough. Like I honestly feel that if you kill somebody, then you should also yourself be killed. There's no regretting it. There's no going to jail for a decade and then being rehabilitated and re-emerging into society. That's not how it works for murderers, you know? And as you guys saw in my last video talking about Ted Bundy, you know, it gets to a point where it's literally unforgivable. There's nothing to be forgiven, you know? And I think that a lot of criminals here in Brazil, many criminals in general, but here they seem to have literally zero empathy at all for anyone or anything. They will kill you. They will shoot you in the middle of your forehead just to steal your phone, you know? They have literally zero empathy for anybody. So why would you take a filthy animal like this who committed such a heinous crime and put him in jail for a few years or even the rest of his life? Why don't you put him in jail along with a dozen others who did the same thing and smoke their asses? You know, go ahead and close the place off and start releasing, you know, toxic gases and just let them die. It doesn't matter if you do it humanely or non-humanely. Just kill the bastards, because if you do this, you're going to open up rooms in the prisons for more of them to come in, you know. And once they start seeing that you can die in prison and very quickly and easily, maybe, just maybe, I'm just saying it's a possibility, they might actually stop committing so many crimes because they're going to see that the consequences are truly dire. Okay, look, I already know at this point in the video that I'm going to be getting a lot of hate from, you know, all those dumbass human rights activists who think that all human life is valuable and this and that. Well, guess what, dumbass? The person who would kill you to mug you and take your stuff, they don't think the same way that you do. They don't value human life the same way that you do. And if you think that all human life is valuable, even the criminals who kill people, even the serial killers like Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer, you know, John Wayne Gacy, you know, like the Green River Killer, all of these, you know, murderous psychopaths all of these murderous psychopaths over the years, I gotta stop stuttering, man. When I get angry and nervous, I start stuttering. If you tell me that all of these murderous psychopaths over the years deserve to, you know, Their lives are also God, why am I stuttering? Human rights activists of the world. If you can look me right in the eye and tell me with a straight face that all of the murderous psychopaths that we've had in history deserve to be treated with value the same way that all human life does, then honestly, you should probably die too. You should probably be sent to jail where the toxic gas is so you can get the hell out of here, because you're really not contributing anything to society. You know, I have to be honest, guys. I admit that in the past I was known to be a bit misanthropic. You know, when I was in the heavy metal band, I was the vocalist and songwriter. You know, and I was very, very angry at everyone and everything in the world, you know, and so much of that anger was built up over the years, and I don't think that even after all this time it's completely gone away. You know, there are certain things that make me really despise the human race, you know, as there are things that make me actually have hope for the human race. But I honestly think that criminals in any capacity should be punished, preferably by capital punishment, you know. And I think that if this country, if this freaking trash pile of a country of Brazil ever gets the death penalty, and people start seeing these, you know, these genocidal and thieving politics finally getting what they deserve, you know, being executed and like being captured, arrested, tried, and executed, even on live TV if possible, then the country is gonna start to change. If you see somebody who, I don't know, maybe kidnapped, raped, and killed your teenage daughter, and you see that same person being executed, you know, whether it's lethal injection or electric chair or fire squad, you're definitely gonna feel good about it, you know. And this way you don't feel the need to go out and take revenge for yourself, you know, because a lot of people who lose a loved one to a maniac, they decide to go and kill that person, and even though like your intentions might have been, you know, justified, it's still a crime, you know. The only way that you could do this and get away with it is if you commit involuntary manslaughter, which is like involuntary manslaughter, or like you kill somebody in self-defense. There are ways to not, you know, have the full consequences. There actually is a difference between murdering and manslaughter. I actually forgot though. I think murdering is when you willfully go and take somebody's life, and manslaughter is accidentally doing it. Something of the sort. I read about that recently, you know, while doing research for the Ted Bundy video. I just forgot exactly how it works, but this is the way I think, guys. The death penalty should be enforced in every country that has the means to do it, you know, because once people start seeing that you can die depending on the crime that you commit, I mean, honestly, if they don't want to lose their lives, then I don't really think they're going to continue to commit any crimes, you know. And I don't really know what else I can say. I just get really peeved when I talk about this kind of thing, you know. I really think that Brazilians need to wake the hell up, man, you know. People are voting for the wrong politicians, you know. They're making the wrong decisions about their lives, you know. They're trying to study the wrong things for the wrong reasons to go to the wrong places, you know. It's really weird. This generation right now is very lost, you know. Not just here in Brazil, but in general. But because this is where I live, I have a stronger voice about it, you know. And I honestly think that's it. I don't know what else I can say, man. I really do think that it's really fair for the death penalty to exist, you know? That's just how it is, because the laws are just way too, sometimes they're just way too unfair here, you know? Somebody who barely does something illegal at all, like something that's not a big deal, they might get, I don't know, maybe a few years in jail, and somebody who does something a lot more serious might just get a few months, you know? It's really unfair. Maybe I'll do a deep dive into Brazilian politics in a future video, but right now this is all I got. This is all I can say, guys. I'm so tired. So tired emotionally. I think that's it, guys. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. This was a very heated one. You know, I get really, really angry when I talk about my own people. It just irks me the hell out, and that's just it. That's just it. Politicians ruining our country, our natural resources, you know, exploiting everything that we have for money and not taking enough care of us, not caring, you know, like the current president Bolsonaro, who just didn't give two flying craps about the pandemic, you know. So many people died because of his lack of action, you know. He even went on to call it a small little flu, a little cold. It's not gonna affect you, you know. God, man. It's the kind of person who does need to be executed, you know, but well, he's got like pretty much a large part of the government in the palm of his hand. So yeah, that's it guys. Let me know what you think about this, if you agree or disagree. Let's try to have a debate in the comments below, healthily of course, no need to be all nasty to each other. And that's it. If you happen to like this video, please go ahead and give it a like, and also subscribe to my channel because I release videos every single day. While you're at it, you might as well also hit the notification button to know exactly what time I upload. And that's it guys. This is Chazzy signing out for now, and as always I will see you guys in the next video. Roll the outro screen.